Hi all, I'm Malika, and today we are having our collective call with our fantastic guests from the crypto consultancy company Block Sapiens. We have the managing partner Gauthier Pons, who is based in Dubai. Then a decentralization maximalist, head of engineer at the Hash Graph Association, Miha Rune from Switzerland, and last but not least, the co-founder of the Lunch B True PNL, Ruslan Abdulin, based in Portugal. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And now I'll handle the mic to my colleague, Ivan.
Hello, everyone. So I'm co-hosting this event, and our generous guest here is Malika, who is going to be helping me today. So guys, we're here today to discuss a pretty interesting topic that sparks interest, not only from the crypto community, experts, investors, but people outside of the crypto world. So I'm talking about Bitcoin halving. Yeah, it's getting closer day by day, and it's likely occur pretty soon in April 2024. So for those guys who don't know what I'm talking about, BTC halving actually it is an event which means that rewards for mining Bitcoin blocks will be reduced by half. So from 6.25 BTC that we have right now to 3.125 BTC. Besides, we actually already are past 3 Bitcoin halvings already in the short BTC history, with 2 bull markets followed. So I'm just curious, guys, have you personally witnessed BTC halving lately, and what do you remember from that time? So, for example, let's start with Micah.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. Well, I remember the last halving and the bull run that came a year after that, and well, it was a great time. And we all were very exuberant. I think it's worthwhile to remember that there was the winter that came afterwards, and we're still in this crypto winter, even though spring is upon us, it seems. It is the 4th halving that is upon us, and yes, we should remember that past performance is no prediction of future events. So maybe this time will be different.
So was it Bitcoin halving 2020 your first?
Yes, I joined the crypto ecosystem in 2016 with Ethereum actually, and I didn't buy any Bitcoin before probably 2019.
So what do you remember from that like crypto winter that followed? Because I joined only in 2021, and I pumped straight into the like bull market rally, and everything were growing, was super. People were super excited by that. So what do you remember from that time that was before this bull run?
Well, I'm pretty old, so I participated in the web startup bull run in 1998, and it kind of reminded me of that. So I was pretty much awaiting the crash because all the indicators were towards this is a bubble and it will pop. But it was very different because the crypto market is much, much faster than the stock market, and the cycles are much shorter. This is great in one sense, and it has its downsides as well.
And do you remember the price of BTC back then?
Yeah, I think it peaked at 20K, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% sure.
So it was less than 20K, definitely. Because I do remember that actually time, because it was like 20 or 15K, and people already for yet another time we're talking that it is way too late to buy BTC, and look at the price now.
Totally, yeah, but Misha, you are not old. Miha, please don't say that. Yeah, and what Gauthier thinks about it?
I think we were waiting. We were definitely waiting for the Bitcoin halving, because obviously it drives the overall market behind. I would say it's obviously it's a good sign for our industry, but in the meantime, fortunately, we are in an industry that's driven by cycles at the moment. We've seen that the last Bitcoin halvings, and to be honest, like from our side on the fundraising side, and we work a lot with founders and startups. We hope that it won't be the case for the future. That that's the people that are building won't be crushed by the price of Bitcoin going down and then all the tokens following behind. So yeah, we obviously we would like to see Bitcoin halving, because it might drive prices up. But yeah, I hope it would be the last one, to be honest. And just to reply to your question, in 2020 I was still at university, so I was watching the price of Bitcoin, investing. 2016 I was not in crypto. I looked at, I knew what Bitcoin was, and I knew it was something that was increasing. But yeah, I was still a bit young for getting in.
So you do remember that time clearly, right? And
yeah, I mean, I remember even like the time when Bitcoin was created. Everyone was talking about it, but it was very serious, at the time for us. I was super young. I was at school, and I just heard about it, but nothing more.
And don't you think that the perception of BTC as an entire independent asset has changed in that exact time? So it was no more than some bubble or some news popping up. So this time, I mean, it's like BTC started to pose itself serious.
Yeah, I mean, we see obviously the ETFs about to be. I mean, obviously we talk a lot about BlackRock as an ETF, but I mean, in the overall, in the whole world, people are talking about it. I'm originally from France, currently in Dubai. We see the adoption in both countries. In France, actually, we have a bank called La Société Générale, and they're also actually launching ETF. We just don't talk so much about it, but yeah, we see the adoption from institutions, and it's definitely a sign that Bitcoin is not seen the same way if institutions get in.
So you're referring to the same way as it was before, but don't you think that given the circumstances we are now, Bitcoin will rise like twice or thrice in the near future?
Well, for sure. I mean, again, with right now, the price of Bitcoin has I think reached the $65,000 max. Something. I'm for sure I'm wrong. It's not the exact price, but
yeah,
these were prices without counting institutions. And if you talk about money markets, institutions are much bigger chunk of the money supply, so obviously the price will increase, but it will definitely we hope will stabilize, and be less. There will be less fluctuation in the future than it used to be before.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to hear what Russell thinks about that.
Sure. I don't remember the second previous cycle of the halving, because I came in the crypto in the end of maybe in the mid of 17, and yeah, it's I think
2017, right?
Yeah, and it was already consequences of the growing of the previous halving.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember what was happening in 2020 as I 19, sorry. As I remember.
Yeah, somewhere in between 19 and 20, it happened.
And Bitcoin was shaking between 8 to 12K, and sometimes it dumped to absolutely minimum, 3.5, 4K. Who is nobody expecting these scenarios, and crypto is super unpredictable thing, and you have to be ready for 1% to be in 1% of kind of standard distribution diagram, to be in this zone, and this event happens more often than it's supposed to be happening. But yeah, in general, I believe it, as I remember, it was kind of shaking scenario. Maybe in after the half year after the halving, it became really strong feeling that the market is definitely going to change, slowly recovering and more steadily without big dumps and stuff. And but usually the halving event is have a pretty basic and logic fundamentals why it's the bull market is happening. It's just basically there are less liquidity of Bitcoin inflows in the market comparing with buying power, and it's why everything is going to grow up. But yeah, and I hope it's going to be same in the next year. But from my perspective, what I saw, like all these circles, all the crypto circles, usually took about 4 years, let's say. 1 year of the bull market, like of crazy bull market, let's say. And 2 to 3 years of dump and then slowly recovering. And I think like everyone expecting the same scenario like in the future, and probably as being the comeback of the bull like market in the 2025, late 24. But from my perspective, I think like it's the scenario is not should be definitely repeated, because like if we start to analyze like the previous bull market, there was 2 double peaks. The first bull market, like the first peak was in the beginning of.
Actually, I have a graph over here, so we can all watch the numbers. Do you see the BTC rallies?
Yeah.
Because I prepared some graphs. So as we can see, yeah, it was enormous axis back then. Like from 2012 to like 10 years, what it's all about. Like from $10 just to what we have right now. I don't even know the exact number and don't want to know it actually, because it just scares me actually how one asset can rise over time just because of the public perception and the attention to this coin, to this, asset. And the game actually is pretty different than what we had in the previous BTC rally to what we have right now, because in 2020 we didn't have like GameFi, play to earn games, or the sort of stuff. It was before the NFT boom. It was just about some, talks about some banks, loans, all the stuff that was driving the DeFi. But now we have many, many more branches. So don't you think that this completely changes the game?
No. It's still the same game. It's the catalyst that is different. Mm-hmm. And the game is that Bitcoin is still the dominant cryptocurrency. I mean, if you have a chart of Bitcoin dominance, we can see it. I mean, it's over 50% right now, if my memory serves. And what happens usually is that Bitcoin pumps, and then the money goes from Bitcoin into altcoins, and it goes to the altcoin that is hot at the moment. We had the DeFi revolution just before. I'm not sure what the next one will be. Maybe identity. Identity is very hot these days. Maybe that will be the next catalyst. We need a catalyst for the next bull run. And I don't know what it will be. It's anyone's guess.
And don't you think that BTC halving alone could be that catalyst, or it needs something to drive it even further?
I think it needs something more. So the BTC halving will increase the price of BTC, but for a real bull run to take off, we need something more.
I will be disagree here. I mean, it's really nice. Point of you about the catalyst, and I spoke on the same topic with several of my friends a few times, and I think just people back then like just trying to create narratives and create the reason, just our like human mind created in this way, that we are basically creating reasons for some events which were happening before. And yeah, I mean, the previous like altcoin bull market was the first reason was the DeFi, let's say, then it was P2E like games and stuff. But I think in general the narrative would be completely random, and people will always find a narrative to believe in. But the main reason is just basically large injections of the liquidity in the market, which basically pumps the whole asset.
So I agree also a bit with Misha, because obviously people always speculate on coins, right, Russell? But in the meantime, like we see during a bear market, like we've seen a lot of people working on things without thinking about the price of the token or speculation. Same happened with DeFi or NFTs or use cases, that we see that are appearing, and what he means also by catalyst is that, for the money to flow from Bitcoin to altcoins, you need to find something interesting, right? It's not going to flow to any coins, because the market, there's a reason why there is DeFi, there's a reason why there are NFTs. in gaming as well. There's reasons because we've seen the huge adoption in the Philippines, for example, with Sky Mavis. There's always like small kind of like use cases and adoptions. The only problem is that it gets killed by actually speculations and people, like selling tokens. But we just hope it's going to be widespread adoption for the next cycle, and that there will be real life use cases. First, you see now there's real world assets. A lot of people talk about that. We just hope that there will be more real life use cases, so we don't see things dumping. I hope we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you regards real world assets. It seems like that it's maybe really large next trend in crypto, and yeah, it's a lot of companies already making it, and like Centrifuge and several and more, and a lot of capital injection from real assets.
We need to separate, I think, Bitcoin and the crypto market in general. Bitcoin is a great store of value, like you showed the graph before, right? And it's beating a lot of other asset classes. So it's definitely interesting for institutions, but it needs to be decorrelated from the crypto market, sure. Otherwise, it will always be speculation and like wind. I'm being very pessimistic here, but yeah, it will be like that.
Mm-hmm. So BTC and crypto market actually are two different things in your opinion?
They are two different things, but unfortunately the price of tokens is driven right now, like you're mentioning it with the Bitcoin halving, but we should not the price of a token should be driven by its value accrual, and not the value of the market or the speculation. That's what we're trying to build here. If it's the case, well, it means that you're just raising a token for raising money and not there's no use case behind it. So it already means that there's no point for raising a token. In DeFi, for example, you raise because the token is used, in gaming as well, normally. But if it's not used and it's just like the value is growing because of speculation, then it doesn't make any sense.